This is Maria Michaelsen, and I wanted to make a documentary about and tell a little bit what me and my daughter have been exposed to for many years now. I want to start in 2009. I bought a farm in Vigelandsveien commune, and I started my education as a child and youth worker. And we had horses, we had dogs, we had cats, and a piece of harmony until Vigelandsveien commune gave illegal allowances to build 2 houses and a car road on the neighbor property to their own family and friends. So they started to work, and they did this work private themselves to save money. So they didn't use professional companies. And in this way, our drinking water supply got ruined, our sewage system got ruined, and we ended up with polluted and poisoned water that we got sick from. And I asked help for Vigelandsveien commune since the allowances was illegal, but I met closed doors. I also asked in a normal way if the then neighbors and the people who had done this work that broke my things on my property wanted to fix it in a normal way, in peace, without court cases. They were not interested. And in 2011 I ended in the severe problems in their life situation because of what they did, and I get my whole property got full of water because they had make a dam to dam up the water in on my property. So it was like a lake. So we got even more ruined. So we couldn't live there anymore. We couldn't shower, we couldn't drink the water. My animals could of course also not have this water. And I ended up to seek for a house so we would be able to shower and brush teeth, cook food, all these normal things what you have to do. And between 2011 and 12, I got a house in Evje. Then I set paying for 2 houses actually. I still paid the loan on my farm, and I paid rent for a house in Evje just to have water because of this corrupted building case, and that no one of the responsible ones wanted to make up for what they had done, so we had water back again and could live there. I won these cases because since they didn't want to fix it in normal ways, I had to take court cases, and I won this. And towards the end of 2012 and beginning 2013, we moved back to Vigelandsveien commune because then I thought, okay, now they will fix what they had broken. But that was not the case. Then they started to shoot with air guns towards my horses. They emptied the water buckets to my horses all the time. They were abusive to my animals, to my dogs. They were kicking my dogs. They were beating them with wooden sticks. And I asked help from police, and police don't help me. So, and I felt very helpless. They also did things to my daughter. They bully her, they freeze her out to play with the children there. They said to their own children they were not allowed to stand with my daughter on the bus waiting place, so she had to stand there waiting alone. So they did all kind of emotional emotional things towards my daughter, which never should have happened already then. As I think personally, children should never be involved in grown-up conflicts and or any political conflicts also. And this all they did to try, because I won 500,000 crowns. That should cover also my lawyer costs since I won this case, and Instead of paying that, they decided to do really frightening things to me, my animals, and my daughter. To try scare me to agree with 100,000 out of 500,000. And in the end, when they had drive into my side of my car, broken my car window, done a lot of abuse to my animals, like what I already mentioned. They also shoot rockets towards my horses. They ran in panic, and my angel Maria was crying because she was afraid the rockets should harm her pony and everything. So on a certain point it was just too much. I was afraid they would kill any of my animals in the end, or ruin them mentally completely, and all these things. And in the meantime, my daughter was also beaten at Froland school of children of involvements in the case, in her belly, in her back, so she got afraid to go to school. So I agreed on 100,000 out of 500,000, which I won. And of course that couldn't cover to get a new well for water and fix everything they broken. But then it seemed they decided, okay, we're now gonna ruin her life completely, and we don't want her to live here anymore, or in this vein. So I was exposed to a murder attempt in 2014, June 2014. Then on the way in ambulance to the acute in Arendal Hospital, Froland Kommune kidnapped my daughter. And since then, and then they put her with their own family and friends in a criminal network in Vigelandsveien 590, 4821 Rykene, Arendal. And since then she's been full of abuse and torture marks. She's been breaking down psychologically. She's been really scared, got skinny, pale. She don't have appetite for food. I have, for what I say now, I have evidence to prove. I guess many of you have already seen it on my Facebook, the abuse photos and torture photos I mentioned, and recorded telephone call called Evidence. It is to be found on Angel and Woman's Diary Chapter 2 Evidence on YouTube. And this is my last telephone call with my daughter, and that is from 2015. There you hear her break down psychologically, and that she's really scared, and she's telling about severe neglect, that they don't give her food. And and she asks if I can ask for her that they will give her food, because she's very hungry, and if she asks, she don't get it. So I drove up to Froland Kommune, the office that is responsible for this, and to ask if they could give her food. And instead of fixing that problem, they called a local police officer, Robert Walter Lie, and I got arrested on the parking place, basically for asking food for my daughter. And then after they put me in 5 prisons in Norway, there I was exposed to abuse, torture, severe neglect in the official care of the Norwegian government. And it was unhuman. It was really unhuman. Also, I think you have seen abuse photos of me, of what I talk about. And after this documentation is posted on my Facebook and YouTube, I will put the links out again for both the telephone call and all the abuse photos and torture photos of me and my daughter done to us. After they tried to break me in prisons, they put me in on a prison cell with urine, sexual assault by 5 men in an isolation cell, handcuff torture, no food for 4 days, a lot of, you never should think this can happen in Norway, but in my case it did. And what you do see is that my daughter they're doing kind of the same things. I have documents there that she tells about food torture, that they force in her the only things she don't like, for example, to have on the bread, and when she don't eat it, they will break plates in anger in front of her, so she gets really scared and they will close her up on her room. There are several things on my documents which is striped over with black tush, let's say, so it's not possible to read, and what stands before and after, where it's blackened out, is where she tells about that they are angry at her all the time, and basically that she's scared in the situations she is. And since 2014 I of course have tried to help her out of the terrible situation, and have been further exposed to life-threatening things myself along the way. And so far police in Norway have not helped her, and she's still exposed to abuse, imprisonment, and severe neglect. And the people who have her in their house is called Ann-Kristin Ausland and Jens Vigeland. And when I have been investigating this case myself, and police let her down and look another way for money under the table, I had to go into the drug scene and the criminal scene to get any information at all about these people. Like normal people didn't know who they were. But at once when I talked with drug addicts or people using drugs from the criminal scene, they right away knew who these people were, and couldn't believe that Froland Kommune had put her in a criminal and dangerous environment and network of people, like how Froland Kommune had done. For the rest, they have done everything from ID theft. They have tried to empty my account, try ruin my life in every way possible, and interfering in negative ways, even in my career. My family I haven't seen, most of them for nearly 2 years. And also my family has been threatened, and so they kind of keep me and my family members apart, so we cannot have contact with each other. So that's a little bit, and let me call this documentary one. There will come more explanations, and let's hope that they will free Angel Maria soon and return her to me, and that I can start heal the wounds they created. And what I find really sad and is that they have made a lot of lies about me, which is not true, and also they have paid off doctors I never met to lie about me. And for every time I have to send in hundreds of documents to prove the truth. And when you keep doing that for over 6 years, you kind of start to get sick and tired of it. So I really hope that this case now will end, and again that she will be returned to me, and I can start heal her, and that she get back a normal life. Because she's not allowed to have a mobile phone in freedom. She's denied internet access. She don't have any hobbies, like dancing, music, because they don't want her to see others, because then of course she may say something of what they expose her to. So it means I will get back a child who have basically lived as a prisoner, who haven't had a normal social life like other children have. So it's a lot of work standing ahead of basically start socialization again, that she can trust people, especially men again, after what they've done to her. And because it is worth to mention that is several indications of what my daughter has said, and that she's been actually read between her legs, and I've been sending photos with her from she's 8 years old with lipstick and makeup, and she have said, why do I have to bath when all the men are looking at me, that she was forced to play a game where she got a lot hurted, been sent photos of abuse of her from Spain, Denmark, Holland, different countries. So it's also a lot of things that indicates that this is international, what happens to her, and not only belonging to Norway. Yeah, so this is the end of documentary 1, and yeah, let's hope they will free her now and return her, and that we all can support her to become the happy and life-glowing girl she once were when she was in my care. Okay, bye. Thank you for watching.